John's putting together a carrier that we bought for the back of the trailer.
It's like a luggage carrier. It fits onto a 2-inch receiver and goes right in the back of the trailer. And with any luck at all, it won't fall off.
Right. We're planning on putting our quote poop trolley on it so it doesn't have to hang, as you can see, off the back of the ladder. It'll give us a little more room to maneuver back there.
Well, and also we won't have to lift it so far up in the air.
Right, it's very cumbersome trying to get it back up there on that ladder, so we'll keep you posted how we're doing.
Or not.
Well, we're getting there, huh, John? Just about done?
Yeah, now all we have to do is see if you and I can lift this thing.
Yeah, that'll be the key. Well, we got all the bottom pieces on. We did have to take off one and do it again because we put it on one wrong area, but that's par for the course when you put together something like this. So, get this done and we'll see what we can get it on the back of the trailer. So, we finally got the carrier secured, but what we had to do is buy one little extra extension piece because we found it was too close to the spare and you couldn't really get to the water, so it was a little extra expense, but it's nice and sturdy and we've gone a little ways and it seems to work fine. We didn't see anything flying down the highway. Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm John.
And we're the geezers on the go.
Go, go, go.
This time we're at Jones Lake State Park in the southern coastal region of North Carolina. The lake is one of the vanishing Carolina bays, and it is steeped in history. It's just a stone's throw away from Elizabethtown, and is about 25 miles from Lumberton on Interstate 95. The park is a bit odd. It was rebuilt in 2019 with 20 big sites, but only 6 have full hookups. The rest have no utilities. And there's no dump station. For all its quirks, it's a beautiful park on a scenic lake with lots of potential, if they ever finish it.
We'll also show you some cool trails, and we'll visit a couple of neighboring lakes with very different personalities. Quiet little Singletary Lake and the more touristy White Lake. Then there's the Cape Fear River, made famous in 2 classic movies with film stars Gregory Peck and Robert De Niro.
We're here at Jones Lake State Park in Elizabethtown, North Carolina, sort of the middle south in North Carolina. And it's kind of a small park. There's only 20 sites and only 6 have full hookups. The rest are all primitive, and we'll talk about that later. But the site here is very long. It's 60 feet long and kind of gravelly, and you got quite a bit of space around you. And I like it because the garbage cans are right there. You give your own private garbage cans. But as you can see here, it backs up really far into the trees. Big area with they have a grill and a big picnic table. We put down our mats because it has that gravel and it always seems to get stuck in your shoes. And around on this side is more grassy area. It looks like they did a little bit of a controlled burn here to get rid of some of the brush, so it's from when it gets a little warmer. Right now it's middle to the end of February, so they probably did that. Well, the park wasn't going to be real crowded, but as you can see, it's got some kind of blackish there. And you can see our closest neighbor is over there, and there's only somebody way on the other side. And there is a big bathhouse behind us if we needed it, but we have the full hookups, so we don't. And there's another campsite over there and way down there, so you kind of have a lot of privacy here. Have Might be a little busier when in the warmer weather, but for right now, we kind of like it. It's very quiet. This is number 8, and that ends all the full hookups. 2, 4, 6, and 8 on this side have full hookups. This one doesn't have as much trees as our site, but still, there are 2 more full hookups on the other side. We'll get over to there, but back behind here, you do have some trails that you can go out to, and it goes down to the lake and a fishing pier. And you could also drive, there's a main parking lot to get down to the lake. This park is sort of newish, but it was actually opened in the 1930s, but the campground was redone in 2019. And what's kind of odd about it is, in redoing it, they made all these really nice big pull-through sites, but they have no utilities or nothing. It's just a big spot, sort of wasted on somebody that has a tent. Sorry about you tent people, but sort of the truth. There's some trails behind it, and the woman that was one of the hosts or volunteers up at the main visitor center said she doesn't understand why they did that. They built this whole park, made it so nice, and why they didn't put more full hookups, and she wished that they did, because all on this one side, the odd numbers starting like 1 through going up, this is 7. There, a lot of them are these beautiful big pull-throughs. But I guess you could have a generator if you wanted to, but it just seems kind of odd to make these nice big pull-throughs and not have any utilities. Again, just a short little walk. This is a site you're coming up to, number 9, and that's has trails to the fishing pier and bait trail. And again, I said you got this big, gigantic pull-through, number 9, that has no utilities. Let's do none of the ones on this side. Down here, there is a coming up 10 and 12. There's 12 down there. Somebody has parked, and they have a generator. 14 here has a nice long site and has a couple of trees. There's 2 handicap sites. This one has some cement pad, but it has no utilities on 16. And at 15, it's one of the few that doesn't have any gravel at all. It's just sort of grassy, but it's a pretty spot right back behind the trees in the back. If I was going to tent camp here at Jones Lake, I would do number 15. It's only one of 2 or 3 that has a grass pad here. There's no gravel, where the other ones you have to put your tent on gravel and probably need a pad. And you got enough trees and backs up to the woods. I think 15 would be your tent spot. 17 also doesn't have any gravel, just a nice grassy pad. Not many trees here, so it could get a little hot in the summertime. But it's right across from the bathhouse. Here you could see a little more where they must have had some kind of a controlled burn, because the trees are kind of blackened. And number 18 over there does have full hookups, and then the one more at the end, that number 20, also has full hookups. So that's about it. This is the last 2 sites on this loop. This is 19, which is a pretty site because it looks right out the back of the woods. Not a lot of trees to give you shade. And then this one over here on the other side, 20, has the full hookups. If you went around the loop, it's only about, if you walked, it's about just about 5/10 of a mile, half a mile. So, but if you had a bicycle, has some nice paved roads. I'm going to be trying that out later on my new bike.
Jill's got her brand new folding bicycle on. She got it for Christmas. Our boys got it for her. She's waving goodbye. May never see her again.
Okay, here at Jones Lake, I'm taking one of my first rides on my new fold-up bicycles. So far, pretty comfortable. Ride's nice. It's got a couple of different speeds, so that'll help me pedal better, since my old bike didn't have any speeds and wasn't good uphill. This is the entrance of the campground. When we came in, there's a little sign that says if you already had a reservation, you just could come right to your spot. And this is number 1. Has a big pull-through, but there's no utilities here. And then it starts with the utilities of full hookups starting at site number 2. And this is site number 4, another back-in, which has a really long driveway. It looks at least 60 feet. And it also does have the full hookups and their own private garbage cans. Just a little short drive from the campground, it comes down to the actual Jones Lake, and it looks like it's probably very popular in this warmer weather because it's got a really big parking lot here. So accommodate lots of cars. There's a big visitor center over there, and it looks like a concession stand, so we'll take a walk down here. It looks like there's a big volleyball net here too, so you could have a game, and there's a big soccer field over there too, and picnic tables and horseshoes. So it looks like we could have a great time at this beach area here. As always, we're here before anything's open. We're here in mid to late February. Not a bad day today. It's in the 60s. Looks like if you came here, if you want to at any time, they got big grills and big picnic tables and lots of shade, and another pavilion over there if you ever had a big party. And they have a place where if you did have a charcoal grill, you put your hot coals. Let's take a walk down to the beach. Well, this is a really pretty beach. It's got nice sand and a really big area to swim. Has little markers out there. And there's also a little boat pier over there. We'll take a walk out there later. But a really nice beach area. Be a great day to spend a nice hot summer day. Interesting thing I just found out about this lake. You can come swimming anytime. There's no lifeguards, and it's always free. So you could be at the campground, you could just stop by, and the swimming is free here, which is kind of nice. You don't usually have to pay a fee. So you can come here, enjoy the day, and swim for free.
This is a beautiful little park, but it's a little strange, huh?
A little bit. It's only has 20 sites, and 6 of them have full hookups, and the rest have nothing.
Nothing.
Which would be okay in most cases, but they have these gigantic pull-throughs that would be perfect for big rigs.
Yeah.
And
no dump station.
And no dump station. So if you did come with a little trailer, there's no place to dump. They have a beautiful bathroom and stuff you could use, but it just seems kind of strange to have these nice primitive sites and no dump station. And
well, I think this must be one of those places that's very popular with locals, because the day use area, they have a big nice beach and everything's free.
Yeah. They said they redid the park in 2019. That's when they put in some of the full hookups and stuff, and one of the other rangers said at one time all it had was one water spigot.
Oh, good.
But it has lots of other cool little things. It's got a couple little trails. There's ones you could walk out to a pier,
right.
And they have a little boat launch. And the lake here is about 224 acres.
As you can see behind us,
right.
It's a gorgeous lake.
It's not real deep, and it's considered one of these Carolina bays, and there used to be lots of them here at one time. Dotting the area, but they just slowly have disappeared and filled in.
Sort of dried up and filled in, and they're trying to conserve what's left of them, but and Jones Lake is one of those. You talked about when they built the park. There's some interesting history there, isn't there, Jill?
Yeah, the park was originally built in the early 1930s, like most state parks, by the CCC, the Civilian Conservation Corps. But this park was originally designated for African Americans to come and enjoy the lake.
Yeah, it was. I guess it harkens back to the old days of segregation, but obviously it's not like that now.
No, they changed it. Said in the 1960s it opened
Yeah.
up to all races.
There's some interesting things in the area to go see too. There's a couple of lakes, White Lake and what was the name of that?
Singletary Lake,
Singletary.
which is that's a little state park.
Yeah, and it's well, they do have camping there, but it's like group camping and cabins and stuff like that. So it's not really a campground type park, but they do have lots of campgrounds around White Lake. They're all big private RV resort type places.
Yeah, and they have some motels and there's little restaurants. It's more of a resort kind of a community where you could go spend a day, or it looks like you could even buy a spot on the lake.
Yeah, so it's worth going to see, and we'll take you out there and we'll have a look at that.
One of the coolest trails at the park leads down to a long fishing pier, if you can find it. It took me a couple of tries. Well, I'm going to try again by site number 9 to see if I can find this fishing pier trail, because the other day I went sort of the wrong direction. Well, this says it's the Bay Trail, but somebody told me it also comes down to the pier, so we'll walk down for a while, and if it goes nowhere, well, it was a nice day for a walk. Well, I guess I'm going the right way, because it says fishing pier this way. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is pretty. And here we are walking out on the pier. Well, this is a real nice big area to go fishing. Bring maybe a folding chair, a little lunch, cups of drinks. Well, all in all, it was not a bad walk, only about 3/10 of a mile out to the end here. And it's a nice walk back down along here. So it was a success. 3/10 of a mile down to the pier on a beautiful day here in Jones Lake.
Nearby Singletary Lake State Park is basically a group camping facility, but it does welcome individuals to come hike, fish, and paddle. The park is about 12 miles from our campground and has a 572-acre lake that's a prime fishing spot for perch. This is Camp Ipecac, one of the 2 group campgrounds at the park. The other one is Camp Loblolly Bay. They both offer bunkhouses as well as tent sites for large groups.
Well, sort of in the middle of the 2 cabin camping areas is the way to go out to that pier, and it says it's a swim area is only open to campers. So I don't know if you could pay for day use, but maybe not. So we'll just take a quick look at this little map. All right, so this is where we are now. We had gone all the way up to the end here. So if I go out here, there's the pier, and we'll go take a look. And it says swimming permitted. And wow, you go out here, this is a kind of a cool dock here. I'm not sure if you might be able to fish from one side, but it looks like it's roped off here for swimming. It's only maybe about 1/10 of a mile till you get from the parking lot or across probably the road to where all those cabins are to come out here, and you could probably fish on this side, and you swim in between the markers over here, and you probably could fish on this side. So this would be a great place, and it looks like there's some boat dock at the end. We're here on White's Lake, which is about, say 10 miles from Jones Lake, and this is mostly not a private lake, but there's not much. There's some camping, and it's got a pier that you can go swimming, and I think it said it costs $10. There's some shops. There's quite a few little hotels and motels, and there's eateries, and there's a little merry-go-round. Kind of empty today because I said it's the end of February. But there's arcades, so you could go out to the pier and spend the day.
Give you a little glimpse here of the White Lake Motel and Campground.
How probably not our cup of tea, but you never know. They do the weekly and monthly rates, so you're right on the lake.
Yeah, I think that this is the kind of place you would come if you had a boat. They have a little marina here. You can keep your boat here, and it's not, it's not quite a fish camp, but there's the lake there that you can see. And now we're just going past some of the motorhomes. I mean, a lot of these look like they are permanent. I'm sure they reserve a few spaces for weekenders or other people who might want to come visit White Lake. This is part of the little motel at White Lake. I have a couple of small motel buildings here, and it's right next to the All-American Griddle.
About 5-6 miles from our campground site is the Cape Fear River, and right here there's a boat launch out to here. It was made famous in a big movie, but and there's some waterfalls and a dam down here.
That's some hardiness down here, Jill.
Yeah, I see. There's it's like a little bit of a waterfalls, and get a little closer, but it was made famous in a couple of movies. Boy, looks like a lot of good places out here to fish. And that must be the sort of dam down here. There's a big sandbar down there too. This is the Cape Fear River. Okay, about 6-7 miles from the campground, we're here at Cape Fear Winery and Vineyard. We're going to go in a second, but I just want to show you. Here's something I need: a wines day spa. That would be cool. But they also, it looks like there's the vineyards, and they also have cabins here. They do weddings, so maybe people stay here, or maybe they just get too drunk and can't go home, so they stay at the cabins. So we're going to go in. Some vats out here. They also have a distillery here, so we'll see what all we can see in this place. Well, we made our way around to the other side of that building. The lady says, come in here, the Tipsy Toad, where we can have wine and spirits. So here we go. And always, it never fails, in the background, somebody's blowing their weed whacker stuff.
And I haven't been in yet, so my behavior can't be blamed on alcohol.
Kind of cool, right out behind the tasting room and restaurant. If you come back here, I think this is the Cape Fear River. It's like this is where they have the weddings, because there's some drapings right there. That's a pretty setting for a wedding.
Not a bad setting for us to end our trip to Jones Lake State Park either. So as we pack up to leave, let's just leave it at this. Thanks for watching, and as always, we'll see you down the road.
Stop!